Welcome back, everyone. NicknLex here. Thank you so much for joining me today to this new episode of Music with Nick. Today we got a marathon, a little shorter than a marathon, but almost a marathon. Thank you so much, VMAX4, for reaching out, for sending me an email with this request through Buy Me a Coffee. Thank you so much for helping the channel and supporting it. So let's take a look at your email first, and then I already have the songs loaded up here, but I would like to give an introduction to the songs. And here it is. Let's see. 90's UK psychedelic. It's so funny because I got another request today, and it was also very psychedelic progressive rock. So let's see if that is kind of like similar. Now the one that I listened to was from 1969. So it says, VMAX for Steve here with my triathlon. Pick up 3 songs from the short-lived UK psychedelia scene of the 1990s, when 60s became 90s. First off, a very obscure musician, the Bevis Frond, aka Nick Saloma man, who writes and records all his own music in a studio paid for after the local council didn't sign up roadworks, that he subsequently rode his motorcycle into suffering serious injuries that he sued them for. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, he has made over 20 albums. I have 14 of them. His third album, Cryptic, from 1988, I didn't get it until 1990, opens with my first pick, Into the Cryptic Mist. So we got right here, Into the Cryptic Mist. And thank you for giving me the year, because they're saying here 2017. Wrong. Okay, next, a short-lived band from Newcastle in the northeast of England called Dead Flowers, who only made 3 albums from 1991 to 94. My pick is a song called Chocolate Staircase, which was on their second album, but the version I chose comes from the Delirium label sampler album Fun with Mushrooms. Let's see if I got that right. Yes, Fun with Mushrooms, and is a far better production than the album version, which was rather lacking in the guitar department. And we all like great guitar, don't we? Yes, we do. Third pick is by Sundial, a band you've reacted to before and liked a lot. This song is called Exploding in Your Mind and is the second track from their debut album in 1990, Other Way Out, stated by many critics as their greatest psychedelic album since 1960. Since the 1960s, if you listen to it in full, you might agree. And then there's some other stuff. Stars Die, Porcupine Tree. Well, this is, I think, it is Porcupine. I thought it was Steven Wilson for a second. So I'm dressed for the occasion. And then some other stuff. Gravity Grave by Verve, Catherine Wheel, Cream, White Room, Hawkwind, and the Pink Fairies, Jimi Hendrix. Thank you so much for these recommendations. If I can get to them, I will, you know. Regards, VMAX4. Thank you so much. I appreciate the recommendations and the trivia of the album. Well, without further ado, let's get into the music. Thank you again so much, VMAX, for sponsoring the video. If anybody's interested of doing that, check out Buy Me a Coffee in the link below. And we will be doing our monthly Dan requests very soon, and also our full albums. And last month we only did one, so we're going to add one more. So today, if you join this month, you're going to get 3 full albums on Patreon as well, plus the other 60 that are already on there. So, of course. All right, so let's give it up here for Into the Cryptic Mist, the Bevis Frond. Here we go. Holy moly. All right. Well, very interesting. I would like to do this, I would like to just record and just release, it doesn't sound very polished, I mean, it is what it is. Like you said, he records out of his home since the 90s. That is amazing. I have a friend like this who does, and he produces everything at home, and it's really good. And he doesn't really know a lot about music, but he just, takes what he knows, and he just like releases an album maybe every 3-4 years, but this is very respectable. Like, I wish I could do this, but I don't know, I'm too much of a perfectionist. It's basically what kind of like makes me not release my music. I have tons of songs, I've finished stuff, I've easily enough music for like 2-3 albums that I could just put on Spotify, but I just feel that they're not good enough. That's the problem. And I think here, like, I did enjoy, it's only like 2 chords, this song, and there's just so many things I would have done different. Maybe paid a little bit more, but that's just me. I would have done a little bit more. I think it was very it was too bright, the sound of the guitar, but it's only because of me. I love a certain guitar sound. I love a certain kind of like level of music, maybe there was too much mid in there, like, but it's just me, like, and because if he likes it the way it sounds, it's perfect, so as long as it's perfect for him, that's all that matters. That's his music, it's his art, his expression. For me, it was a little bit, there's, I don't know, maybe it's the music that I listened to, it sounded just too bright, there was too much punch in there, too much distortion in the guitar, but nice improvisation, and everything. And 2 chords to build up. It's very minimalistic, music. I like that though. You record 2 chords, you can loop them, you put a bass on top, some drums, and then you just improvise. I would have improvised a little bit slower, more like David Gilmour, with a lot of delay, no distortion. But I find myself every day, or every time I play, I take a little bit of the distortion, because I think I'm finding my sound, after all these years. But all in all, I think it's a great project. I would have to listen to more. I want to see more styles. I'm sure he has a lot of music. I mean, we have all these, we don't have all the albums here, but look, we have from 1987 all the way to 2024, and we have 4, 9, let's see, we have about 20 something albums here. So, I would love to do that. I would love to be able to open up, under NicknLex or NickLegan or whatever, and see all these albums. But yeah, it was good. It was really good, and if you see this, congratulations on all your music, but don't let me, be who am I to criticize music, right? But I mean, I'm reacting to it. I want to be honest with everything that I do, and I'm just giving my opinion, It's all my opinion, and hey, if you guys value that, that's awesome, So, the Dead Flowers, jumping from the Bevis Frond to the Dead Flowers, Chocolate Staircase. We're gonna do Fun with Mushrooms from 1992. I love the like claymation type artwork. Let's give it a listen. Let's check it out. Let's see here. And Chocolate Staircase, here we go.
Captain Barrington White calling HQ. Are you there? Come in, please. Over.
was a perfect like point to pause. I'm loving the riff, the like that. We have that very like almost Arabic or Egyptian kind of like vibe there. It's very psychedelic, and that sounds so badass. It reminds me a little bit of grunge, but it has that psychedelic vibe. The voice is unfortunately not as loud, and I can't really there is no lyrics. I can't pull them up, so I can't really understand what he's saying. But hey, again, I'm over analyzing, but the music is amazing. The drumming, that I don't know what he's doing, but it's very effective with the bass, the drums, and the bass doing the same thing, and the guitar playing these octaves. Beautiful, beautiful, and I love here that little breakdown with the whammy bar. Wonderful, very good stuff. I remember driving my mom insane the first time I got a guitar with a whammy bar. Well, with a whammy bar, I didn't really do it a lot because there's not a lot of like, you can't really mess around with it. But the first time I got a Floyd Rose, man, I was driving my mom insane. Dive bombs, wow, and just that, whammy action. And she was like, "What are you doing? Like, stop." Please play something, but don't do this noise. But I love it. This was great. This sounded a little bit more obviously on the, even though it's also very wild, but I like this a little bit more because it had more, I don't know, polish to it, and but again, it sounded very raw as well. But that's the style, that's the type of music, 90s music was supposed to be like in your face, we're not gonna play any solos, and if we play, they're all gonna be like all over the place. And it was kind of like this departure from this perfect like 90s, these solos that were so, practiced and rehearsed, and I think in the 90s, guitar players were like, yeah, I'm not gonna learn all this crap. I'm just gonna play my guitar, leave it on, you know, even if I'm not playing, so it like you get all this feedback. It was just a style, you know. It was just like, we're just gonna dress in, like, you know, like baggy jeans and, you know, and play, you know, with all this metal stuff. It was such a switch from those musicians to grunge musicians or alternative music. You know, it was more power chords, and I don't know, but this sounded very, very good. Like, I love that, especially that descending lick, that doodle diddle 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 diddle, and the drum work, the bass was great, and the guitar. It even reminded me a little bit of Hendrix, when Hendrix just would go wild, you know. It wasn't really a lot of like the solos, you know, they were not really like technical or anything. It was just like, I'm just gonna express myself, you know. So that was very, very cool. So yeah, Dead Flowers, definitely. It's a shame that they didn't last, you know. Fun. We have here Fun with Mushrooms. Let's see what we. Oh, this is on various artists. Okay, so that's kind of cool that is even available on Spotify, you know. But Dead Flowers, let's see how many albums they have. Just one. Altered States Circus, 1994. Cool. Yeah. So, okay, let's check out the last one here. Sundial, like you said. Let me check here real quick what I've done before. Sometimes it's just hard to remember, like, all the bands that I've listened to. Sundial. Okay, my face is very excited. It says Hendrix and early Floyd vibes. That's what I put in the thumbnail. Let's see. And this was for you, B-Max. Cool. Thank you so much for, you know, for choosing another one. I did Sunstroke and Mind Trance. Let's put a space here. So, okay, I just edited the thumbnail a little bit. Okay. All right. Well, here we go with the song called Exploding in Your Mind. Let's go. so good. That, I'm sorry, but yeah, I guess I'm a Sundial fanboy. This was freaking amazing. It is honestly like going into a time machine, and like if you wouldn't have told me who this is and when it was recorded, I would think it was like from the late 60s. It sounds like literally like Iron Butterfly or something, you know, Cream or Jimi Hendrix. Just like I said in the other video, I'm sure I said Pink Floyd because of that, the way Pink Floyd used to use vocals when they started earlier, when Roger Waters and but I mean, like the first 4 albums, I think, that we really haven't really listened to. But since I had Pink Floyd Works, there was a lot of stuff from their early days on there. So that's what I know. But it's just, I think that's why I mentioned Pink Floyd. But this whole like boom, 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 and the guitar and bass doing that at the same time is just so effective. It has that psychedelic vibe, and the solos with that really tasty delay on there, and just like, I don't know, it sounds just wonderful. Really, really good. And I looked here on, I'm always on Reddit. I think Reddit is a pretty awesome, I mean, it's so much better than Google. And I think when I want to know anything about anything, I go to Reddit, and it's just so effective, and people there are just very helpful. And any question you have, although I sometimes I feel I kind of like only use Reddit, and I use it way more than I give back, you know, like sometimes I feel kind of bad. But this was amazing, and obviously here I'm on Psychedelic Rock on Reddit, and this is being praised as like the best of Sundial. So yeah, this was. I wish again I would have had the lyrics, and although I paid more attention to the music here, this was just tasty, super good. And it's a shame that Sundial don't have a lot of listeners. I hope this gets a lot of listens on the channel, you know, the triathlon or the marathon. I hope it does. Because they only have about 1,000 monthly listeners, and this is really good stuff, you know. So it also, VMAX, if you want to check out, yesterday I posted like being back in the 70s. That's what I put in the description. Sounds straight out of the 70s. Neil Francis and Marcus King, check them out. It's a wonderful marathon that sounds just like back in that. I mean, it's recorded in the 2020s, and it sounds straight out of the 70s. If you want to give it a try, I'm sure you're gonna like it. And also the other day Travis made a really cool request, and I don't know, it hasn't really gotten a lot of attention. It's like a lot of good songs. I think these marathons, since they're so heavily copyright claimed, YouTube doesn't recommend them enough, so you have to kind of like look for them. So what I recommend to you guys, sometimes go to the channel and just scroll through the videos, because there's a lot of stuff that you might not really, that you might miss. Like this one from the, like being back in the 70s, only has 400 views and 8 comments. Like, I can't believe that nobody likes this. This is amazing music. So, and it's when we post something like Gary Moore yesterday as well, that one has 4,000 views and 115 comments. So it's so weird that some music just doesn't get the same amount of views. Yes, maybe it's not as famous, but I mean, with all those subscribers that we have, it's just bizarre that they don't click on it, you know. But wow, it is what it is. This was amazing. So like I said, the first one, I did like it, but it was just, I think the editing on that one was just not up to what I would consider something that I would release, you know. But hey, again, who am I to criticize another musician? If it's perfect for him, that's just my opinion. And maybe I should release, my music, and I'm gonna get a lot of criticism for it. But then again, I would only release it if it's really perfect, and if I would think it was perfect, and that just takes like a lot. It's really haunting me. But there's some good stuff. There's some really good stuff that I'm sure that a lot of people would like. But well, the second track was amazing. It had that grungy, like 90's vibe that I love. Dead Flowers, and then Sundial, man, just like knocked it out of the park. But I guess all of their stuff is really, really good. Totally overlooked, I think. Unfortunately, it is what it is. With new artists, it's just difficult nowadays. With all the market that's saturated with the internet, there's so much music that you can consume, and it's unfortunately that the all the music that gets advertised is pretty much garbage, which is reggaeton and pop and all that stuff. There's some really good rock out there that's new, and it just like you have to dig to find it. There's some really good prog music. There's some psychedelic stuff coming out. There's some amazing musicians that are alive right now in their in their prime, and they get like laughable views and recognition because there's so much, and it's just like, that's why I kind of like stopped trying, because it's so difficult. Or you come up with something super super simple, like this artist that I won't mention right now because I don't want to get any backlash, but he basically just released a song, and it's very very simple, very very almost, there's no effort, and it's just like explosion, like 60-70 million monthly listens for something that is so simple. Sometimes maybe the simpler, I guess, the more you make, the harder you practice, the more complex you play. And that's what I've learned, unfortunately. That's why I stopped practicing so much, because for what? Nobody's going to appreciate it. Nobody's going to listen to it. It's just for you. And it's almost pointless at this point. So with what I already know and what I already can play, I think I'm good. I wish I could just, practice 8 hours, but for what? Nobody's going to really enjoy it or listen to it or like it, That's what's so sad, that nowadays when you can do really acrobatic stuff on your instrument, that is mind-blowing. No, people will be like, whatever, because of YouTube and because of TikTok, and everybody has already seen what can be done, and it's almost like it has lost its value. Like the other day I was watching Rick Beato, and he had Stanley Jordan on there, and Stanley Jordan plays like this, a guitar, and he can play with another guitar like this just by tapping on it or together, and he plays like a piano. And I'm fascinated by Stanley Jordan. I've always been, since I was 16-17 years old. I saw a video, and people just like, they're like, whatever, it's like, it's nothing surprises people anymore, and that's what's so sad. And that's for musicians. And now there's another YouTuber, and I'm sorry if I'm rambling, but there's another YouTuber who just creates music with AI. Like this, he could create this in 5 minutes without any musical knowledge. He just prompts, he writes in. It's so sad, because music is gonna get lost in a sense. Maybe film producers or whatever, they're gonna just ask AI, hey, build me this amazing soundtrack that sounds very epic, and the musicians are gonna be like, well, that's our stuff. Like, I don't know, it's just it's a weird thing to talk about, that music is gonna just be produced by a computer, because they know they get all the music in the world. They could just think or take it. I want something that sounds a little bit like Bach, but has a little bit of metal vibe. I want the lyrics to rhyme, instead of, you know what I mean? So it's just like, I guess we will, for the next decade or so, we will still know if it's computer made, but one day we won't. You know, that's the sad part of it. Like the composer will start, like, not exist anymore. It's just gonna be prompts, and it is what it is. I'm sorry for the rambling. This was a great marathon. I hope you enjoy it. Let me know what you think about all this. Let me know what you think about the music. Let me know what you think about 90s music in general. What do you think about Sundial, about Dead Flowers, about the Bevis Frond? Did you enjoy the songs? But also let me know what you think about this whole music business, how it's going, how it's like good musicians are not being recognized anymore. And also, what do you think about AI taking over musician? I don't know. It wasn't my intention to bring this up, but hey, it's just, it is what it is, you know. Sometimes I just talk way too much, but hey, I appreciate you guys sitting there listening to me. If you find it interesting, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you again, BMax, for this amazing marathon. It was a lot of fun. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.